Hi there, everybody. I think we are live, and it's a pretty hot day. Everything's warming up, and astrologically, we have a lot going on this week, and I'm going to be looking forward to the Cancer new moon, which is kind of special this year because the Cancer new moon will be conjunct Jupiter. So it's like a welcome in for Jupiter into Cancer with the whole new moon sparking off that energy. So I think that is a really positive sign. Now, a lot of my clients have been saying that they've felt so flat over the last few weeks, even months. They just need a little bit of a lift. They need like a change in the tide. It's like we're stuck in this football game and it's a 0-0 draw and it's sort of to and fro, and particularly when England are playing, you get these long balls forward and then nothing really happens, or kicking it back to the goalie. And I think that's what life has been like. But not only do we have Jupiter, which is now in Cancer, being set alight by the new moon on the 25th of June, the Cancer new moon, we are also having Mars, which is going into Virgo. And I think that is also going to be an important change up of the energy. Because since last September, Mars has been in Cancer. Then it was in Leo. It was retrograde in Leo, retrograde in Cancer. Then it went forward in Cancer and was in Leo. And I feel while Mars was in those signs, it was quite touchy, sensitive, perhaps a little bit precious, and it was really hard to get through the barrier of our own emotions. And I feel that really on a level we might have perceived that things weren't going for us, but I think a lot of the time we were actually standing in our own way over the last 9 months. But now with the new moon conjunct Jupiter, it's an awesome time for a change in mindset, just becoming a lot more proactive, and it's actually awesome for manifesting, particularly when it comes to money, because that's a big thing with Cancer, business opportunities and money. So I do think that all of you guys who are hustling out there, and I know that if you're on social media, you're likely to be one of those people, because things are so tough right now. Sometimes one income stream is not enough to keep up with all the bills. And a lot of people went through redundancy in March, April because of the Neptune super conjunction. And also the Saturn conjunct Neptune has made us face our biggest insecurities. And for a lot of people, those surround money. Can we earn enough? Are we good enough? Will we get the promotion? Are we happy in what we're doing? But I think when from the 25th, really try and use that 2-week window of the waxing moon, so that's the 2 weeks after the 25th, to really climb in to some new initiatives. So the new moon is normally about thinking big, planning some new activities, perhaps doing some launches. If you run a business, doing promotions, adding a new product, or just possibly, doing something new in your business or becoming active on social media. But set aside from the 25th through the next 2 weeks to really knock on doors, make opportunities for yourself and have a positive mindset. I know, people say positive thinking. Some people think it works. People think it doesn't work. But I mean, there's just no question about it. If you can be positive about something, you'll always get more results, because astrology is actually about being proactive. A lot of people come to an astrologer and say, when will my life change? When will my relationships change? And the fact is, the astrology does give you the ingredients, but you still have to kind of bake the cake. You still have to use those energies with your own willpower and your own unique talents to try and make it happen. And you don't always have to do it in a big way. The great thing with the new moon conjunct Jupiter is it magnifies. So even if you do a small step in the right direction, the universe will reward you by giving you some encouragement. And remember, always watch out for signs, signals, and don't underestimate yourself, because Jupiter says take a gamble, be a bit adventurous. Now when I say take a gamble, don't make like silly money. Hi there. Hi Holly. Hi, user 63.7. Don't do silly risks or go way out of your comfort zone, but go a little bit out your comfort zone. If you've never done a live, a podcast, a vlog before, do it. If you've never spoken in public before, do it. And another big thing with Jupiter in Cancer is authorship, writing. Have you ever written a vlog? Do you want to write a book? Because this is a supercharged time for all those wannabe authors, people who write screenplays, but particularly literature. And literature that is both fiction, right, or self-help and motivational. So, you guys who want to start a business, what an awesome time to start a new book. Because I want to encourage any of you who are thinking in that line to go for it. And another thing with Jupiter's Cancer, we know, is the sign of the home. So this is great for you guys house hunting, looking for a new property, wanting to make changes to your property to not only decrease value, but just to create more happiness, more tranquility in the home. So a little bit of the old feng shui. It's this awesome time for tidy outs. I know, in fact, a lot of signs like Cancer, Scorpio love a good clear out. So for all you guys, and Virgo too. As a matter of fact, throw Aries in there too, because they also love a good clear out. So what an awesome time to do a clear out combined with some emotional cleansing. Because a load of us, our possessions can become like a damn albatross around our neck. You're worried about where to put them. You worried about, how you're going to get rid of them. Just bite the bullet. Get rid of a whole lot of stuff, because the universe tells you as well that you get rid of the old stuff, the new energy flows in. So get rid of your old junk. You'll be amazed. I mean, I know our local charity shop where we do a lot of donating, it says, donate, feel great. And it's not just about donating, right? Because it's charity and it's a good thing to do. You actually feel a relief when you get rid of old stuff. And the amazing thing is you don't miss it. So many times we are lumbered with a lot of old junk and it's not doing anything for us. We don't use it. It just clutters our life and it holds us back in many, many ways. So get rid of stuff, frees emotional blocks, also get rid of old paperwork, old correspondence. And because the new moon in Jupiter is got an emotional base, it's a wonderful time to get the monkey off your back in terms of emotional baggage. Anything about a past relationship or whatever that you've been lugging around, feeling regret, don't bother with it. Don't bother with guilt. Don't bother with regret. These are negative base emotions that are blockages. And remember, I said with Mars in Cancer and Mars in Leo, we were standing in our own way, right? So now with the new moon conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, it's a chance for emotional refreshment, opening our hearts up to new experiences with new people and to create a new vibe. And especially if things have been difficult in family, and I know so many people have angst with their parents, in their family, it's time to just take a deep breath, detach from the drama. It's not your problem. Everyone really needs to take ownership of their own issues and grow the hell up. So don't feel burdened by the people's issues. The motto for you is my partner or my mother or my child's problem is not my own. We have our own issues to deal with. And while it's good to be compassionate and to offer people advice, there's only so far you can go before people have to pick up that baton and do it for themselves. And in terms of family drama, encourage healing, but if it's not possible, step away. So be diplomatic, let people know you understand their feelings and you're there to listen and to help. But on the other hand, enough is enough already. We've all got to move away. We've all got to have a chance to have some peace, some inner peace. And I think the best way often for us all to get some inner peace is just to focus on our needs, replenishing our emotional energy, and then being able to move forward. So the new moon in Cancer, let's recap. It's great for all of you looking for a side hustle or a new business opportunity. It's fantastic for those of you who are either house hunting or want to revamp your home, create a new look, basically with the idea of moving or creating a more relaxing, peaceful environment. So getting away from trouble neighbors, getting away to the country maybe, where you can feel more at peace, because inner peace is so important. It's also about taking responsibility for your own emotions and having boundaries between other people's issues, particularly those in your family, so that you can feel a little bit of a relax and fulfillment. It's also about having some fun and some you time. So I think the new moon in Cancer in Jupiter is a great time to kind of prioritize ourselves. Ask us, what do we really need right now? What are the three things that will make us happier right now? They can be little things, getting a new pet, going for more walks, getting in the outdoors more, doing some gardening, anything. You go and you do it. Oh, by the way, awesome time for gardening as well. So your plants should be doing really well. And generally speaking, an uplift. So I think so many of the emotional blocks from recently will start lifting. It's been a hard 9 months, to be honest. So let's look forward to this Jupiter conjunct the new moon in Cancer. Now, the important thing that's happening this particular week, the week it's happening this Wednesday, Mars moves into Virgo. As I said, I'm relieved Mars is moving into Virgo. There's something more pragmatic and problem-solving and kind of useful about Mars in Virgo. I think Mars in Leo encourage people to be a bit dramatic, People were a little bit, like I say, a little bit precious. And Mars in Cancer as well. People's